Morning, Frizu. Just going to wait here a few minutes before we get started. It's actually early this time. So we'll wait till the bottom of the hour here, and we'll get started. In the meantime, I do have the risk disclosure up. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, initial balance. I find that I find a lot of opportunities in and around initial balance. So it's a good reference level to focus in on. So I'm glad you have a better understanding, Frizu. All right, I got about 3 more minutes. Hey, Reading Tiger. Morning. We'll get started here in a few minutes, guys. We're going to give a couple more minutes. We'll start at promptly at 8:30 Eastern. Okay, and we'll start our review. All right. It is 8:30 Eastern time. Welcome to another pre-market session with the market trader. I do have the risk disclosure up, guys, so you can peruse that here. But in summary, just want to summarize that the market trader and Ray, the market trader, is here not in any sort of investment advisory capacity. I'm not here to offer, solicit, to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, instrument, or fund. We all understand if by now that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and that is an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Okay, only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading. And only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Nothing, again, contained herein is a solicitation to offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. So now that I got the risk disclosure out of the way, the next order of business is for us to take a look at the news. So we're going to go ahead and open up my financial juice. Okay. And basically, the big ticket item for us, especially if you're a crude oil trader, we have the inventory report coming out for crude oil. Okay. At 10:30 EST. All right. So that, again, if you are a crude oil trader, that is an event that you want to, I would say, remain flat for. Okay. Crude oil overnight has rallied quite a bit. I don't know, maybe because of some of the tensions that are going on in the world. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of looking through to see if anything else, if there's anything here that would kind of maybe trigger the rally that we've been seeing of late. Okay. Other than that, we have at 1 p.m. we have some I guess yield note in consumer credit reports coming out. So we have 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Some reports coming out, but in general, it's relatively light news day outside of the EIA report. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the charts. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take a look at, let's see if I can find my chart. All right, so here we are. You guys hopefully can see my screen there. Looks like I have an older copy of the let's see, make sure I got the right one here. Yeah, it looks like I got the wrong one. Let's share and share this one. Okay, yeah, this is the one I wanted to share. All right. Okay, so let me turn off this in gray. I was doing some work here just to validate some things. All right, let's remove our drawings. Okay, and all right, and let's go ahead and turn off ADR and ASR for now. Okay, and what we're going to do, obviously, we start every session with a review of the daily. Okay, so basically, we want to get a macro view of what the market is trying to accomplish, right? So looking at this from a macro view, um, we see that we've been on a, I guess, a steady climb. All right, we're making higher highs and higher lows in the market. Okay, fair amount of overlapping candles here. Okay, but nonetheless, it's the slope continues to be up. Okay, so I do see that we have on the daily, I see a little bit of an area where we might see some resistance. Okay, here around 2,500, maybe as high as 2,540. All right, and then on the demand side, I do see that we have a little bit of a demand here around uh, 2,420. Okay, so, we have not made a new low. We have not made a new high. We are kind of in this range. Okay. We have a demand area. What appears that we are kind of developing a little bit of a triangle pattern here. Okay. So market is kind of consolidating to decide on exactly what is the next move it wants to make here in this market. Okay. It's kind of what I'm seeing right now, right? As we get close to the apex of this, then I'm expecting that we should see a move, all right, as wide as potentially this the mouth of the triangle, okay, either to the downside or to the upside, okay. Don't know exactly which direction is going to be, all right. So again, that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily chart. Looks like we are consolidating. We've kind of established our zones here, right? 2,500 on the top side, 2,420 on the bottom side. That's kind of an 80-point range, right? That's been the focus of late. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, we're going to look at the 4-hour chart here. All right, 4-hour chart is, of late, again, we'll go ahead and remove this triangle pattern here. Don't think we need it at the moment. Okay. So of late, we've been kind of making a series of lower highs and lower lows, right? Of late. Okay. We really haven't broken any structure to the upside, although we've had 1, 2, 3 straight 4-hour candles that have been bullish. Okay. What's going to be important for the bulls is to see if it can get above 2,460. Because if it can get up above 2,460, then 2,480 is very much in play, maybe as high as 2,500. Okay, so 2,460 is going to be an important area. We've seen some consolidation in that area for a period of time. So if this series of bullish candles are indeed, I guess, mean something, then the expectation is that it should be able to get above this 2,460 level. Okay, this 2,460 level is going to be an important level for the bulls, because they're going to want to get above that to let these folks know that they have the resources to take the market higher. Okay. All right. So 4-hour, while we still remain in this kind of bearish channel. Okay, I would say to the downside, we are seeing some evidence that maybe we are starting to dig in here, and the longs are starting to kind of come back to the market here a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and drag these out here a little bit. I'm going to expand this up a little bit. And first order of business for me is to establish the volume profile, okay? Because I always like to understand where is price in reference to value, okay? Well, price in reference to value is above, okay? So that is a bullish sign, okay? So value is above. Price is above yesterday's value, which is a bullish sentiment. Okay. So you can see here we have the value range and we're above this price. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to open up here is initial balance, because this market is now open. So if I can find my initial balance, tool, I will do that. Okay. So here's our initial balance. I will turn off some of these extension areas that this tool creates. Go ahead and turn that off. Okay. So here's our initial balance range. Okay. Right now, relatively small. Now, the smaller the range, the more implication that we have that there's going to be some sort of initiative price action coming out of this. Okay. The smaller the range, the more initiative this can be. Okay. Right now, we've been in this steady climb. Right. We have higher highs and higher lows. Right. So, and we're above settlement price. Okay. So again, the tighter the range, the more likely we are to break it in one way or the other. All right. If we are going to break it to the downside, I would say that settlement price is probably a reasonable target for this. Okay. If we do end up breaking this to the upside, well, I would say that I really don't see anything other than maybe getting us back up to this 24.56 level. Okay. I see a lot of runway outside of not yesterday's close, but Monday's settlement that could maybe stand in its way. All right. So I'm kind of inclined here to establish a anchor VWAP from the lows. Okay. From the lows. Right. And assuming that we can stay above this anchor VWAP, okay, then my view on this is to the bullish side. Okay. This is kind of my litmus test, right? We have established low here in the overnight, I guess, during Asia and into London. And, basically we've created higher highs and higher lows. The next stop for me, as I mentioned, is up at this 24.60 level, right? This is kind of, I don't see anything in its path that could potentially block this at the moment. All right. But I'm not going to just enter here. I'm going to wait for this initial balance range to establish and then look for an initial balance break to the upside before I look to participate to the long side. Hey, Frank, good morning. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and copy the levels that I'm looking at here, okay, in gold. All right. So we'll just go ahead and establish them here. Okay, we'll put them somewhere here, visible to everyone. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at as far as levels. All right, let's go ahead and double check on some of them. All right, so we have these. We have this value area that we've established here. So I'm just going to extend this line. So 24, 36, 30. That's what we have here. Then we're going to go ahead and extend the line for the value area low. Again, that's 2427.1. We got it at 2426.1, but that could be just a function of me drawing this line. So that's within tolerances. Okay. Then we have point of control. We'll go ahead and color that in as red. Okay. That's coming in at 2428. Okay. 2428. I got it at 2429. Again, very, 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 very much within tolerances. And we have 2431.6 actually is our settlement area. Okay. So let's go ahead and update that. 2423.6 or 2431.6 is our settlement zone. Okay. Let's go ahead and modify that. All right. And then the areas that often change on us, well, let's go ahead and open up ADR. ADR still a ways away. And then we have, let's see. We have ASR here. So let's go ahead and open up ASR. Okay, ASR is just below here. So 2450.2. Okay, we got that captured. Okay. So that's kind of the levels that we're going to be looking at here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off ADR because it's not quite in play at the moment. So again, as I mentioned to you guys, it seems like 2450.2 is very much in the cards. Okay. I see not only as a level, but I look to the left and that's kind of where I see my sellers, right? So I do see that I would say that we reach 2450 without much effort here, I guess, in the near term, okay, before we could potentially see any sort of significant reversal in the market today, okay, in the gold market. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here for me. Again, I'm going to be waiting for this initial balance range. If during that range we do hit 2450, that's just how it works. I'll be waiting for that to, it's an initial balance break, either upside or to the downside, before I look to participate in this market. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else I should be highlighting in this market right now. Is looking rather bullish. All right. I see that again, 2450.20 is kind of the reasonable target for this. This is the average session range high. Okay. Average session range high, which I have captured here. All right. So once we reach that, well, there is a possibility, okay, that we could potentially reverse a little slightly higher at 2460. Oh, okay. If we are to maintain in this kind of range. All right. I think other than that, I think that's pretty much all I have to share for gold. Take a peek here to see if there's any questions. I don't see them. All right. So again, very much bullish in this market. And again, I would say that, for me, I'm going to be kind of looking at this with my normal tool. Okay. And unless I see some sort of break to the downside, my feeling is bullish, at least for the day in crude oil. All right. We're coming off some 4-hour demand zones and things of that nature. So it seems like the bulls are very much in control of this market. Okay. All right. So if there's no questions on gold, we'll move on to crude oil. All right. So we'll take a look at crude oil here. Just go ahead and open this up here. And then we're going to go ahead and turn off some of these levels. Okay. And we'll go ahead and start with a daily chart. Okay. And again, ask ourselves a question. Okay. Strong push. All right. We've gotten a strong push away from this daily zone here, right? Daily demand area. Okay. We have a developing, I say developing because this is a daily chart, developing bullish engulfing. But we've had these kind of candles before, only to be met by sellers. Okay. So market, even though we do have a bullish engulfing against a level of demand, is still very much in a bearish structure, okay, to the downside. So until we start to break structure to the upside, maybe get above 76 or maybe above 79, then really we're still looking at prices dipping on us here a little bit, okay? We'll see what EIA has in store. This could obviously change things and cause enough of a momentum for price to rally, but we'll have to wait for that to take place, okay? So on the daily, even though we do see a bullish engulfing here, I would say that the overall market structure is still remains bearish. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. Okay, we did manage to break above this this pivot here, which is bullish. Okay, so while we remain depending, and again, it all depends. This is let's go ahead and remove this, and let's kind of maybe do a little bit of more of a focused on this. So again, we could see that we've already gotten a little bit of a break to the upside on the 4-hour chart, right? We got a break, we got a retest back to this level, and we've rallied since then. Okay. So looks like we're starting to get some structure. Okay. We have a, what do you call it? A demand zone that's been established, or, right here. All right. We got 7281 on the 4-hour chart. Okay. That's been established as an area of demand. Okay. So 7281 is my 4-hour demand in crude oil. Okay. It's based on what I'm seeing on price as far as price action goes. Okay. So while the market, I guess, overall remains bearish, we're starting to see some signs that maybe we could potentially rally from here. Okay. Maybe as high as 76, maybe as high as this most recent pivot at 78 and change. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, we've had a pretty steady rally here. You can see the series of candles here. So during London, a lot of buyers in this market. Okay, lots of buyers in this market right now. Okay. So let's start off by opening up our fixed range volume profile. Okay, fixed range volume profile is let's see, right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and locate the 6 a.m. 9 a.m. bar from Tuesday, drag that across to the 1330 bar or 430 bar. Okay, and here we are. Okay, so we have price is well above. All right, well above value. Okay, market is very much at the moment being controlled by the bulls. All right, now when you get such an extended move like this to the upside, and we're so far away from daily VWAP, and what I'm about to draw here in an anchor VWAP, the natural inclination is that it's going to come back, right, and come back and revisit, these levels, right? So let me see if I can locate the anchored VWAP, and let's see if I go with this or do I go with let's go with this here. Okay, this is the low of the lows. All right. So we had a break. Okay, we had a break above the anchor VWAP. So we have both price above anchor VWAP and daily VWAP. Can we expect? I would say that there's a strong possibility of that happening, Alejandro. I don't know. I don't know if expect is the word that I would use, but there's certainly a good possibility that at some point during this session that we could potentially come back to either daily VWAP or anchor VWAP. Okay, we are already getting a little bit of a bearish engulfing. Market has not opened just yet. Okay, but nonetheless, there is certainly a possibility that we can come back to these levels here, right? So this over here is value area high. Okay, value area high would be a nice area, right, for price to come back to. Okay, and offer us a nice opportunity to the upside. Now, if you wanted to participate in a move down to that level, that's perfectly reasonable too. The only thing that I would say is that we're in pretty strong, market structure to the upside. Okay, so I obviously have to temper my expectations and also understand that the bulls can step in at any time during this move as it tries to make its move. If it does make this move down to value, right? Bulls can step in at any time, right? So you have to be cognizant of that. All right. Let's see what else. Oh, let's go ahead and open up our ADR level. Okay, so we're well above that. Let's go ahead and open up our ASR level. Okay, and we're also above that. Okay, so very, very strong bullish action here. Okay, sustained. All right, so we could easily come back to some of these levels, right, above, right, what was resistant. Okay, become support. So we could come back to 74.36 and continue our move higher. Come back to 74.19 or 74 in general and rally. Okay, so this area right here is a ripe area for a potential buy. Okay, this area right here, but I'm not just going to buy there. Okay, I'm going to wait for some price action to indicate that that's indeed the case, right? So I'm going to be quite keen on seeing what the initial balance provides. Okay, we're still again another 6 minutes away from the open of the market, so I'm going to go ahead and provide the levels that I'm going to be looking at here. All right, so we'll add those here. Okay, so we have 74.27 as our average session range high. We have what is it? 72.32 as our 72.32. Okay, so we need to modify this. So 72.32 as our average session range low. And then ADR levels we have is a lot deeper. Okay. All right. So it's at 71.64. Yeah. Okay. So adjusted the, let's see, 74.27 is already captured. So this 72.32, 72.32. Just updating my levels here on the spreadsheet that gets eventually populated into Top Step. Okay. Okay, so 72.32, bold. All right. All right. So again, just a couple of hypos here, right? We've already talked about a few of them. I'm going to be waiting for the initial balance range. Today is going to be a little different for me and EIA because of EIA. All right. So I'm going to be patient. I mean, certainly I could take an opportunity before, but chances are they're going to be waiting for that news before they make any significant move, unless they got a sneak peek. They got a sneak peek of what the numbers are going to be. Maybe they did. Maybe the London folks have picked up on something. It's unclear. Okay. So yeah. So in any case, we are a bit extended. It's not unreasonable to expect that price could come back. All right, to some of these levels below us. Okay, and provide us maybe a better location to participate to the long side. Okay. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Okay. I'm going to be looking for a better location to take this market long. Okay. That's what I'm going to be looking for in this market. Now, could I take a bearish trade down to the value area high? Yes, absolutely. Is there enough room to make a trade out of this? Absolutely. Okay. The question is what reference level am I going to use for my top here, right? Because I don't have much in the way. I mean, I could use yesterday's ADR high, looks like, which is kind of reacted away from, and then use that as a reference. Okay. But otherwise, we have, a pretty significant move down to the downside. And really, we would need to get back up to 77 before we see any sort of structure, right, for a reference level to support a short. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in the crude oil market. All right. So right now, I would say that we should be looking for bullish opportunities. But I would say that we probably need to see a little bit of a pullback down to a more logical level, and a level where I can manage my risk. That's the most important thing. Okay. It's always risk first, right? Where can I manage my risk and take an opportunity? Now, if I decided that I wanted to take a short opportunity from these levels, I know what my risk is, right? It's above 75, right? If it gets above 75, then I know that my view on this market is incorrect. Okay. But going against this market structure, I have to expect that there's a possibility it's going to continue higher, right? Okay. All right. So again, that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. Oh, anchor VWAP. So anchor VWAP, I would say, well, my anchor VWAP, I drew it from this point here. Okay. My anchor VWAP is at the start of yesterday's session. Okay. That's where my anchor VWAP is at the moment. All right. You could argue that you could make it all the way down here, right? That's the last major pivot that we've had in this market. Okay. But that's going to give us a little bit lower forecast for this move and potential reversal. Notice how once price left, right, it came back and almost to the tick reversed away from it. Okay, so this might be an area. Again, when I draw these anchor VWAPs, I would like it to be an anchor, either a low or a high, right? A pivot, right? The low of day or high of day, high of session, low of session, something like that. Okay. That's kind of how I like to use my anchored VWAP. Okay. All right. So we just had the open of the market. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the initial balance. This is just the start of the session here. So we'll just, for me, like I said, I'm not going to do anything in this market until the initial balance range is established. But then the other thing I have to worry about here today is the fact that we have EIA. So crude oil probably is going to be on the sidelines for me. I'll watch it to see if maybe I have some maybe opportunity to to participate in a short trade, short-term trade, but nothing of significance that I'm going to hold. Certainly not hold through EIA. Okay. All right. Let's see. Any questions beyond? Oh, so I think I answered these least favored day. Is these least favored day because of the fact that we have the report coming in? Is that why is it her least favored day? Yeah, anytime there's news that causes the market, right? Anytime there's news, right, it causes the instrument to behave in strange ways, right? So there's obviously an added jolt of volatility once the report comes out, and at that point, after that, it becomes how do the institutions want to position themselves? And sometimes they'll overreact on the news, and then they'll say, okay, well, we need to adjust our portfolio for whatever the case may be. So you think that you're in a good move, sustained move to one side, and then you find that the market participants change their mind. So yes, I could see why D says that EIA report. I mean, just like it's the same. The same is true. Although some may differ in this opinion. I'm not a fan of trading equities during FOMC. Okay, similar kind of thing. The added amount of volatility doesn't necessarily work in our favor. Now, if it works in your favor, great. But I see a lot of traders once we have these kind of major news events, often blow up their combines because of those things, right? Because the market is not behaving as they would expect, okay, because of the news. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the equities. All right, and obviously the yeah, you could draw. I mean, if Frizu, if you are of the bearish opinion on this market, or you're looking for a bearish opportunity, yeah, I would say that you could put a anchored VWAP up on the top of that swing. So that's kind of where I like putting my VWAPs, in areas where I see pivots. Okay, so yes, if you're trying to decide whether to go short or long, putting an anchor VWAP on the top of a pivot on the highs is not a bad place to place it. All right, so let's go ahead and open up. Let's see the NASDAQ here. Okay. All right, here's the NASDAQ. I'm going to go ahead and turn off some of these levels here. Okay. All right. Let's see. I've already got a drawn here. Let's go ahead and look at the daily chart and see what the market is trying to accomplish here. Well, the market, okay, had been, or still remains, I would say, in this kind of bearish structure to the downside. Okay. You can see that we have lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Now we did rally a bit off of these levels. Okay. 17,460. Someone said, this is not a bad price to get into the equities. All right. Okay. We had a rally, and now we've got a developing bullish candle. But again, we've been down this path before, right? We have evidence, right? We've had a bullish candle, and each time it was met with selling. Okay, so really, until I see some significant breaks on this chart, right? And again, the price action tool of choice for me is the channel, right? So once I see a break above this channel and close, then maybe my view of this changes from more bearish to bullish. Okay. I'm not going to get suckered in. All right. I'm not going to get suckered in to a bull when I'm still, I mean, I could have a scalp trade or a short-term trade on the bullish side because we're extended to one direction, but I'm not going to, I guess, marry that bull trade because of the fact that we are in bearish structure. Hopefully I did a reasonable job of explaining that. Okay. All right. For our chart. Okay. Similar kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and remove this channel here. Now, again, we had a pretty strong move to the downside. Okay. Again, we draw this channel here. We see that we've gotten a little bit of a break above it. Okay. But again, as I mentioned, really to kind of break this structure to the downside, I really need to see price get above, say 19,700. Okay. It really to break some structure to the downside, because otherwise this to me feels like just a retracement, right, of this swing down. That's really just what this feels like. This feels like a little bit of a pullback in an otherwise swing that's headed lower. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. I've already got my volume profile established here. We're going to go ahead and widen this range here a little bit. Okay, so market is still not open, but we're already above value. Okay, this purple line is my VWAP. Okay, my daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchor VWAP. Again, I'm going to pick an area at anchor. Okay. And I'm going to go with this here. This is yesterday's open. And notice how well it reacted away. So we had kind of a daily anchor VWAP cross, right? We had price break above it, come back, and rallied away from it, all right? So again, VWAP, especially when we're in a trending environment, okay, offers us nice opportunities and locations where we can manage our risk. Okay. As long as price stays above both daily and anchor VWAP, well, I have to kind of, my view on this is that maybe there's more upside to this market. Okay. But I'm not going to necessarily participate at the highs. Okay. I'm going to be waiting for some sort of pullback to where I can manage my risk. Certainly value area high would be a nice level, and we're right at it. The only thing that's kind of concerning for me right now is that this 18,484 level, okay, this 18,044, 45 level could be resistant. This could be an area where we can maybe, look for a potential bearish opportunity back down. Okay. I have a level here, a supply zone that I can use as a reference. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Let's see. Let's go ahead and add our levels here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put those in here. All right, so that move that over to the right here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add ADR. All right, so we've already exceeded ADR to the upside. ASR has a little bit more room to the upside. Okay, so we have remember I was telling you about this 18,000 level here, right here. Well, guess what? Look, we have a ASR zone that's telling us that this could potentially be an area where price reverses away from. Okay. Right. We've already kind of almost touched it and we've reversed away. But honestly, would have probably expected a little bit stronger reversal away from this area. All right. This does not look very sustained to me. Right. We had a nice bearish engulfing only to be met by buying. Okay. So maybe there is, a fair amount of buyers in this market and what they want to take the market higher. We've already exceeded ADR to the for the day, ADR, right? And we didn't really reverse away from it. Okay, so there is a fair amount of buying going on right now in the Nasdaq. Okay, so let's see. Just going to double check my levels here. So ASR is correct. ASR low is correct. Okay. We have value area high coming in at 367. Okay, got it a little bit higher, but I think I could probably adjust the line here, so that I will leave that alone. Value area low coming in at 126. Okay, you could argue whether it's 126 or 125. But in any case, it's within a tolerance, right? If it's 1 to 2 points away, I'm not going to sweat it. Okay. Again, I don't trade a specific value. I trade areas, guys. Okay. These zones, I trade zones, right? I don't trade a specific number. Okay. Unless it's a whole number. If it's like 19,000 or 20,000 or 18,000, well, yeah. But otherwise, I'm looking at areas to participate in the market. All right. So right now, if I were to look for an opportunity here, I would say bullish, but I'm a bit guarded. And the reason I'm guarded is the fact that I still have ASR high up above me. And as long as I have ASR above me, I feel like, well, I would like to see the market be able to get through this ASR level and then potentially, okay. Or I can get maybe back down to some sort of level here to the downside. Okay. A level down here, say value area low. We've already kind of reacted away from it. So not really keen on necessarily participating in the long. Well, for two reasons. One, I have ASR high above me. Two, I feel like I'm paying a little bit retail at this level right now. Okay. If anything, I feel like I should be looking for an opportunity short. Okay. But I'm seeing some market structure, some fair amount of buying to the upside. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's any questions. I'm not seeing them. All right. So let's move on to the ES. Okay. So we'll go ahead and open that up. We'll go through our same analysis there on the ES market. That's the Dow. We'll go ahead and modify this to ES. All right. I don't know if these are recent levels. They look up here a little bit old. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove our drawings. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with our daily chart. Okay. Okay, daily chart. I'm going to ask ourselves the same question we asked ourselves on the NASDAQ. What is the market trying to accomplish? Well, the market up until recently has really been trying to head lower. Okay, now it's come into an area of demand. Okay, as evident by my review looking to the left. Okay, you can see that market came down to this 5100 level and rallied, right? Okay, rallied away from that. Okay. So there's a fair possibility that we could potentially rally in the market today. We can go, as I see, a clear path up to let's say 54.30. Okay, that's the last area of support. Okay, and that's obviously well above the market here. Okay, so market structure still remains bearish. Okay. But we have come into an area of demand, and not of the 2-minute variety. This is of the daily variety, so it carries a fair amount of significance. All right, you're welcome, Frizu. All right, 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, again, this we have this major swing, right? We had a swing low, or swing to the downside. And we have a little bit of a rally. Now, this, again, just like I mentioned, I think in the NASDAQ, this to me feels like more of a pullback than a swing higher. Okay, this feels more like a pullback, and this pullback is going to be at some point met with selling. Okay, that's kind of how this feels to me. All right, This is the major swing. We get a pullback for the next swing lower. That's what it appears to me on the 4-hour chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here we are. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open this up here. Okay. We're at the top of the range. We're going to go ahead and open up ADR, which we already exceeded. We open up ASR, which is inaccurate. So we're going to go ahead and modify this at least temporarily until the market opens to London. Okay. So we're up. Okay. We're up at this level. Notice how we're kind of bounding around this level here a little bit. Okay. Now this is the session range for London. So we're going to go ahead and adjust this once the New York session opens up. But that gives you a sense for where this range is. Okay. So we have an ASR range up at 53.29. Okay. 53.29 which is what I captured here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and capture our levels here. Put those here over here to the right. Okay. These are our levels I'll be tracking. So the next order of business for me is to open up the volume profile. I'm going to go ahead and locate the 630, 930 bar. I keep making that mistake, guys. Apologies. 930 bar. All right. And drag that across to the 430 bar. Okay. So right now we are just inside value. Okay. Just inside value. So the fact that we are just inside value, there's a possibility, and we're also at ASR high, there's a possibility that we could see a full rotation. We could see a full rotation through value here. Okay. You guys understand what I'm saying here, right? We are inside value, right? Inside value, right? There's a possibility that we can see a rotation through value, all right, all the way down to settlement, all right. Now the only thing that stands in its way is this level at 52.83 and also VWAP, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do an anchored VWAP here. I'm going to find, let's say, I'm going to use this pivot over here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do an anchored VWAP, not an anchored volume profile. All right. So right about here. Okay. So this level is going to be important for me, right? This is kind of, if it's going to remain bullish, right? Well, it needs to stay above this daily VWAP and anchor VWAP, right? Is there an opportunity that maybe price comes back down to one of these levels? Well, it already has, right? It already has done that once. Is there a possibility of another? Certainly. Okay. What could I use as a reference level? Well, I can use this ASR level, ASR high, right? Probably a little bit of let's see what this price is. Yeah, this is pretty good amount of risk that you would need to take. For me, I'm going to wait for the initial balance range to establish. Let the initial balance break either up or down. Just tell me exactly what direction they want to take the market. Okay, I'm not going to take a preemptive kind of guess as to what direction the market is going to go. I'm going to let the market participants tell me where they want to take the market. Okay. All right. So we have our levels. We have, I guess, a hypo or two, right? This is certainly an area where we could potentially see a reversal in price. Okay. But I do need to see some price action to indicate that. Okay. I have a reference level that I can use to validate my risk. We're at the extremes. The only issue that I have right now is that we've been kind of in bullish structure, right? Let's go ahead and open up some of these EMAs, right? So let's see, make sure what this is. 144. That's not the one I wanted. This is probably 169. Yeah. So again, we have references that indicate that either we're right at a level where we could reverse from. Okay. This purple line is the 169 EMA. Okay. We're starting to see some structure. Maybe you could even argue that we might be even developing a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern here, right? Head, shoulder, shoulder, right shoulder. Maybe we head lower. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the ES market. Again, for me, I'm going to wait for the initial balance range to establish. That's my plan. That's how I trade. I'm not going to change it. Okay. I'm going to wait for the market to tell me what direction they want to take the market, and then execute something. Where can we lower our risk for a long entry? Well, I would say if you want to participate in a long entry, I would say that you want to maybe look at what was prior resistance. Okay. So if you're looking long, I would say that this level right here is probably a logical level for that. Okay. Do you see here that we broke some resistance? All right. What was resistance becomes support. Well, if I'm going to be a buyer of this level, this would be the earliest. The next one, obviously, again, I don't know where initial balance falls in this, Alejandro. So for me, I need to see where the initial balance is, and then maybe initial balance high will be that level for me. Okay. But without the initial balance, this is the next logical level for me to participate in the long, 53.15. Okay. If price gets below that 53.15 level, then I would say that, it's headed lower. Okay. But chances are what was support, what was resistance becomes support. Okay. All right. So we'll close out this session with a review of the Dow. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and modify this to be the Dow. All right, and we'll close the session with the Dow. Okay. All right. Move this over here for now. And again, we'll do the same analysis we do with all the markets. We always start with the daily. Okay. We're going to turn off some of these levels here for now because we don't trade these on this time frame. Okay. So there's no need for them. Okay, so here we are. Again, we're asking ourselves the question, what is the market trying to do? Well, notice, okay, I don't know where my other EMA level is here right now. Notice that we have price reacting off of this EMA. Okay, this is the 169-day EMA. Another EMA that I often use is 233-day EMA. Okay, so if you look at this, let's go ahead and remove drawings. Okay, you see that we've made a little bit of a 3-bar reversal off of this EMA level. Okay, so right now, it's looking like maybe it wants to rally up, maybe back up to say 40,000. Okay, because that was the last area that we saw some last area of support will become resistant. Okay, so 40,000 is a logical level for this price to potentially rally to. Okay, you can see again if we just take a measure of this rally here last time. Okay, if we take this like this from here to here and forecast that down, well, where does that take us? Well, it takes us basically up to 40,000. Okay. So again, markets are symmetrical, right? So they move in a symmetrical way. Okay. So this would be a logical area right around 40,000 for potentially the market to resume its move to the downside. Okay. Because we are in market structure that is still bearish. Okay. For our chart. For our chart, again, you see, as I mentioned before, and this is similar to this does not feel like a swing higher. This feels like a retracement or a pullback. Okay. I'm kind of curious now that I'm looking at this again, is what kind of retracement is it about to reach? Okay. It's the wrong direction. I always mess that up. So start from here down to here. Okay, well, we're already at the 38.2% retracement. Okay, and we did get a reaction away from it, but now it's kind of rallying. So the next magical line here is probably the 50%, which is 39,941, or the 61.8%, which is the 40,000 level that I was mentioning before. Okay, so again, we're still, for me, until we break 41,120. We still are technically in control of this, whoever brought this market down this way. Okay. So the sellers can step in at any time here. Okay. All right. So again, still very much in bearish structure, starting to see some things that maybe indicate that we want to head a little bit higher. But again, this feels more like a pullback than it does a rally. Okay. All right. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. We'll go ahead and remove some of my drawings. Remove drawings. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right. So if you look at these drawings, we're kind of magnifying into this little what I call pullback on the daily and the 4 hour. But you can see here that we made some higher highs and higher lows. Right now, if we're going to continue on this path, then I don't want it to stall right around this EMA level. Right. Um, we want it to break this level. So if not, what it appears that it's developing here is a little bit of a supply zone. Yes. Everybody understand why I'm calling this a supply zone, right? We see price left it, right? We left it, and now we've come back and we haven't been able to break above it. Okay. This area is kind of like the no-fly zone for the Dow at the moment. Okay. Now, if we do break above this and get above, say, 39,600, then my view would change, right? You're welcome, Shark Trends. Okay. So my view would change. But right now, while that's still in play, I feel like that's a possibility in this market. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile here. So we're going to go ahead and locate the 930 over to the 430. Okay. Here we are. We're right on the edge. We're right on the edge of value here. Okay. Right on the edge. We're about 4 minutes away from this market opening, but right on the edge of value, just a hair above it. Okay. We could easily rally from here, right? Or we can fall right back into value and potentially rotate all the way through value with maybe a pit stop here at 39,288 or settlement price. Okay. Right? So we are getting a little bit of structure to the upside. Okay. This could serve as a springboard to a further upside move, value area high here. Okay. Take a look at ADR. We've already exceeded it. Okay. ASR, we have still a bit of room to get to it. Okay. So these are all little indications that maybe there's more momentum left in an upside move in the Dow. Okay. All right. So let's capture some levels here really quick, guys. Okay. So I'm gonna say this ASR. We'll say ASR ADR high. Okay. We'll start with the ASR here since I have it up. All right. Okay. Is 39,593. Okay, that's ASR. And then ADR, which we've already exceeded, is well below at 39,358. Okay. Morning, Patty. 39,358. Okay. And then ASR, and ASR, ADR low. Okay. Well, we have ASR coming in at 39,073. Oops. 39,073, and then ADR is coming in at well below at 38,693. Okay, that's well below. All right, 38,693. All right, we have settlement at 39,143, which is often magnetic, okay, to price. All right. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much what I want to capture. Okay. We obviously have value area low, value area high, right? So to deal with as well, right? So right now we're hovering right around value. All right. So as long as price stays above value, I would say that we have a possibility that the market continues to the upside. If we manage to get inside value, then I would say that we could potentially rotate down to 39,277, maybe all the way down to settlement price. Okay. So my litmus test is going to be whether or not price can stay above value high. Okay. If it can stay above value area high, then we can rally up above. If it cannot, then we'll maybe come down to some of these levels, settlement price, this last support zone. Okay, so those are some scenarios here. Okay, so we're gonna be waiting. We just got the open of the market here, so we're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range. I'm going to be personally waiting for for some things to play out here a little bit. Wait for initial balance to kind of play out and form before I make any sort of move in any sort of direction here. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much what I have for the markets. Right. We've covered all the major markets. So we'll be kind of looking to see how these markets play out here. As I mentioned, if we do stay inside value, then maybe we have a rotation through value. Okay, that's kind of in play right now in the Dow. If we get above value, then I think we maybe can get some momentum to the upside, maybe up to ADR, ASR, or beyond. Okay, all right. Well, that's it for me, guys. We'll go ahead and close this session. And again, for those who trade crude oil, I would say that you might want to remain a bit light. Let's go in crude oil because of the inventory report. Okay. Otherwise, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. Have a good day. And we'll see some of you in group coaching later this afternoon, or we'll catch you tomorrow during pre-market review. All right, guys. Don't be afraid to hit the like and subscribe button. Don't be afraid to comment on the recorded video if you found the information helpful, if it aligned and supported your trades. Let me know. Let me know what worked, what didn't, so I can adjust going forward. Okay. All right, guys. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a market pro. Okay. Have a good day.